I'm about to read the medical dictionary from the front page to the back page. Is it the front page? No. Actually, the dictionary doesn't start from the front page. It starts from D. First thing here is dexedrine. Dexedrine, that's a member of amphetamine farm group. It is a drug which stimulates the central nervous system. It was once used as an appetite suppressant in the treatment of obesity. In case of depression, it was used to produce elevation mood. However, the risk of addiction to the drug is so great that it is now rarely prescribed. I don't know if I can finish reading this thing today, but I really want to finish the dictionary today. I really want to finish that dictionary today, but I don't know if I will finish it. I'm too tired, but I want to do it. Come on. I need energy. Energy is what I need right now. Without wasting too much time talking, maybe I should just get up and start doing this right now. Let's get it started. I've explained dexedrine now, so I'll start from dextran. Dextran is a chemical substance composed of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, which may be infused into a vein in place of blood. For instance, in an emergency if blood is not available. It is, however, only a temporary substitute in cases where there has been relatively minor blood loss and cannot be used in place of transfusion. Dextrose. Dextrose is a form of glucose. Dobby's each, DHOBIE, comma on top, then S, each. I don't know, this thing is just contrasting the lights. Okay. Dobby's itch is an irritation of the crotch area. It is usually caused by infection from a fungus similar to that which causes athlete's foot. The condition is common in hot countries. It is made worse by excessive sweating, which tends to occur with non-natives and subsequent urge to scratch the affected area. Antifungal ointment and careful hygiene will usually clear up this troublesome condition quite rapidly. Diabetes insipidus. It is a relatively rare disease. It is a disorder of the pituitary gland, a gland which grows out of the base of the brain. Antidiuretic hormone, one of the hormones produced by this gland, normally prevents the kidneys from producing too much urine. If, however, the posterior parts of the pituitary gland or nerve connection supplying it are diseased, there may be reduced production of ADH and consequently an increased flow of urine, often as much as 20 pints a day. Then there's another one, diabetes mellitus. This is usually known as diabetes. It is a disorder in which a level of blood sugar tends to be higher than it should be. Diabetic coma, a condition of unconsciousness which may occur in diabetes mellitus. Diabetes or chlorpropamide. It is a drug used in treatment of diabetes and has a valuable effect in lowering blood sugar. It is often administered to an old patient suffering from mild diabetes. Its use must be combined with strict dietary rationing of starchy food. Dialysis refers to process of purifying a person's blood of poison by means of artificial kidney. Dianabol. It is a chemical compound of the group known as anabolic steroids, which encourage the formation of muscle in the body. Dianabol has gained particular fame because of its use among athletes, as the taking of drugs increases muscle bulk and often enables the individual to gain 3 or 4 stones in weight, there is a corresponding increase in his performance. It is, however, possible that these side effects of this drug may be highly dangerous. Diaphragm refers to any dividing membrane. In medicine, it has 2 distinct meanings. The muscular diaphragm is the membrane which divides the contents of the chest from those of the abdomen. Through its 3 main apertures pass the gullet, which enters the stomach immediately below the level of the diaphragm. The aorta, the largest artery of the body, which carries the blood away from the heart, and the inferior vena cava, the main vein which brings back blood from the lower part of the body to the heart. It is possible for some of the contents of the abdomen to herniate or bulge through the apertures in the diaphragm. The stomach in particular may protrude through the hole which is transversed by the gullet. This common condition is called hiatus hernia. The word diaphragm is also used to mean intravaginal contraceptive devices. Diarrhea means looseness of bowel. In young babies, the condition may occur if the milk is too sweet. In such cases, reducing the sugar content will help greatly. Some babies pass diarrhea stools shortly after being put to breast. This is a natural reflex emptying of the bowel in response to feeding. The one dangerous cause of diarrhea in babies is infectious gastroenteritis. This may be caused by bacteria or virus, and either in case. The real danger is dehydration. Then diathermy. Diathermy is the therapeutic use of heat. It is applied to 2 forms of therapy: shortwave diathermy or heat treatment, which is used in painful conditions of muscles and joints, and the process of cauterization by heat. In the latter procedure, a hot electrode is used to burn away unwanted tissue, much as a scalpel would be used. Because the diathermy electrode coagulates blood which passes through the tissue being cut, it has the advantage of reducing hemorrhage. Diet is the food regularly consumed in the course of normal living. What's that? Okay. Dieting means adhering to a particular pattern of eating. In common speech, it usually refers to restricting eating with a view to losing weight. To be effective, a slimming diet generally must make the dieter feel hungry. After a week or so, the appetite starts. The body's hunger control centers become readjusted, and hunger diminishes considerably. Dietitians are those specially trained in science of dietetics or nutrition. The dietitian is an expert on the chemical content of food, the constituents of a balanced diet, and on the type of diet required for various types of illness. The attractive preparation of food for invalids is part of the training process. Digestion is the process of breaking down food from its natural state into relatively simple compounds so that it can be absorbed from the intestine into bloodstream. Let's go. Digitalis is a valuable drug used in the treatment of heart failure. It is extracted from the leaves of the foxglove. The properties of this plant first became known to medicine in the late 1700s as a remedy for dropsy. It was later discovered that the drug exercised its effect by the help it gave to the failing heart. Digitalis has now been very largely replaced in medicine by closely related compound digoxin, I guess. Then digoxin is a drug used in cases of heart failure. Dindevan is an anticoagulant drug that is one which prevents the clotting of blood. It is often used in cases of coronary occlusion to try to prevent the formation of clots in arteries which supply the heart and veins of the legs. Diphtheria. Diphtheria is a highly dangerous infectious disease caused by a bacterium called Corynebacterium diphtheria. The common site of infection is the back of the throat, where a pearly green membrane appears. Dipsomania is an old term for chronic alcoholism. This disorder is extremely common, and there is some evidence that it is becoming more prevalent. In three quarters of all cases, the patient is already a heavy drinker before the age of 25. Disease is a disordered condition of the body which is recognizable as a specific entity. Literally, tens of thousands of different types of disease have been described, some of which are very common and others which have occurred only in 2 or 3 people. There are various ways of classifying disease. One convenient method is to consider them as congenital or acquired. Disinfectants are chemicals which kill microorganisms. They are widely used on such objects as bedclothes, drains, and lavatories, where bacteria are likely to grow and spread. These locations are displacement of bones from their correct position in a joint. They are generally considerable pain, and this may be increased if the bone presses on a nerve. Common dislocations are those of the shoulder, the elbow, and the fingers. Disseminated sclerosis is one of the most common chronic disorders of the nervous system. It is characterized by symptoms such as transient numbness or weakness of the limb, or temporary interference with vision, which occur in intervals over a period of years. The cause of this disease is not known. Diuretics are drugs which increase the flow of urine and thus rid the body of excess salt and fluid. Diverticular disease. Diverticular disease is a common condition affecting the large intestine, in which little pouches or diverticula bulge out of the intestinal wall. Although these can occur at almost any site in small and large intestine, the vast majority develop in the large bowel just above the rectum. It is likely that between 5 and 10% of all people over age of 40 have diverticula at this site. Dizygotic twins or binocular twins are twins produced from 2 separate eggs. The eggs, instead of one, are released by the mother during ovulation, and each is fertilized by different sperm. Each fetus is nourished by the womb by separate placenta. As dizygotic twins have a different genetic inheritance, they bear exactly the same relationship to each other as do ordinary brothers and sisters. Hence, their description as fraternal. They may be different sexes and unlike in every way. Dizziness is a feeling of unsteadiness and giddiness. The term is used to describe 2 different conditions: feelings of faintness and being about to fall, and much less feeling of true vertigo, in which the sufferer feels the room spinning round him. In the first type, there is no sensation of spinning. The giddiness may result from many causes, the most common being what is called postural hypertension. hypotension. Thus occurs in perfectly healthy people. They get out of bed quickly and stand up suddenly from a chair, and about 6 or 7 seconds later they suddenly feel weak, lightheaded and faint. Occasionally they may even pass out. This feeling lasts only a short time and is immediately relieved by sitting or lying down. True vertigo is less common. It usually indicates some disturbance of the balance mechanism inside the skull, and it may be accompanied by noises in the ears and vomiting. Among the possible causes are diseases of the cerebellum, the part of the brain which is connected with the inner ear and controls balance. Doctor is a term applied to a medical practitioner. Strictly speaking, it is only a courtesy title, since only someone with a doctorate degree, such as PhD, can officially be called a doctor. By tradition, doctorates are only awarded to those who submit a learned thesis to an academic board. However, the term has now been extended by long usage to include those who have license to practice medicine. Duogastrone is a preparation used in treatment of duodenal ulcers. It is supplied in the form of special capsule designed to burst open as it leaves the stomach and enters the duodenum. Duogastrone contains carbon oxalone, a chemical derived from licorice, which is also valuable to treatment of ulcer in the stomach. It has been shown to be only substance which can help ulcers to heal. Dupuytren's contracture. I can't pronounce this. Dupuytren. Dupuytren's contracture is a common deformity of the fingers, usually of the little finger, in which the digit becomes permanently flexed. The condition seems to be caused by a thickening of the tissue of the palm of the hand, thereby affecting the tendons which led to the fingers. Early cases may be treated by regular, gentle stretching of the finger, but advanced ones require operation. This one. See? Dura mater is the outermost and strongest of the three membranes covering the brain and spinal cord. The other two cerebral membranes are the arachnoid mater and the pia mater. Arachnoid mater is the middle layer and the pia mater is the innermost layer. Dust is a fine debris which gathers on the floors, in corners, in carpets, and on all surfaces where it is allowed to settle. There are two reasons for its importance in medicine. Firstly, because it can contain bacteria, which is why the floor of the hospital wards are kept scrupulously clean, and secondly, because it induces attacks of hay fever and asthma in many people who suffer from allergies. As dust often contains microscopic organisms called mites, an allergic reaction may possibly result from the protein which is present in bodies of such creatures. I'm going to stop here today. I'm having a little problem with my storage space, and I think I have to cut here and maybe record another time. I would have loved to do everything today, but my phone cannot store everything there. It keeps cutting. So I'm stopping here today. Then I'll record another one maybe next week, or I don't know. Whenever I have the chance, I'll record another one. Thank you for listening, and please subscribe to my channel and like this video, to help the algorithm. Yeah, thank you.